All right. And then I just get in the car. Just go. Like, I don't have time for this. Let's just get in the car. Let's go. And then everybody.
And what's that build in for the kid? For next time, what does that set up?
Hello, and welcome to Growing Strong Roots, an occupational therapist's perspective on parenting, self-regulation, and resilience. I'm your host, Leanne Bloom, owner and occupational therapist at Oak Bloom OT in Oakland, California. Today, we're going to talk about parenting, specifically permissive parenting, and how it relates to the way that we're parenting our kids. And today, I am going to be speaking with Tom Guiney, who is my partner in crime in all things parenting, since we are co-parenting together. Do you want to share a little bit about your background, Tom, and why this is so important to us right now?
So a framework that most of the academic research on parenting in the past 60 years has worked within is stuff set out by this Professor Diana Baumrind at Berkeley back in 1966, and then she published paper after paper after paper. What it boiled down to is that most parenting operates within this framework of styles that has two main axes. This way, left to right, is how warm they are, how nice you are. Like cold way over here, warm on the far right side. And then the up and down axis, the y-axis, is parental control or structure or parental demand. So you've got this little grid of four main parenting styles. And this has proven true across cultures, across groups in different populations. It's proved a very resilient framework for looking at parenting. So on the lower left, low warmth, low demand, you've got negligent parenting. That is the worst. That's, like it's an uninvolved parent. That gets a lot of negative outcomes. Up above that, we've got low warmth, high demand, which is authoritarian parenting, yelling at your kids a lot, very strict, high demand, not very nice about it. That also doesn't get great outcomes. Then you've got high warmth, low demand. That's what we call permissive or indulgent parenting. You're really nice. You really care about what your kid wants and what they need and their preferences, but you're pretty light on rules, or at least enforcing them or sticking to them. Light on demand. It's very sort of child-centering. There's a lot of overlap between permissive and indulgent parenting and stuff like helicopter parenting, maybe snowplow parenting.
Gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting is a fellow traveler too. Like it's very child-centered, and it's very much about kind of what the child wants, centering on that rather than on what you expect them to do. And then we've got the gold standard of which has consistently gotten best results in the social lives, academic lives, resilience, self-reliance, confidence, self-esteem, you name it. Over and over again, authoritative parenting, which is high warmth and high demand parenting, has been demonstrated in study after study with hundreds and hundreds of families across the world to get the best results in kids. So that's the framework we're talking about. And today we're kind of looking at, because there's a lot of examples close to us, like in Leanne's practice, with some of her clients, with other people that we just know well, like this is pretty common, is permissive parenting. Parents, I think they're doing the right thing. They love their kids. We all love our kids. Of course you want your kids to have what they want. We all want that. But they've gone too far away from the old way, I'd say from like whatever, 30s, 40s, 50s, our parents, our grandparents' generation, where like the parent sets the rules and the rules are the rules. And we're done talking about it. I feel like a lot of our culture has gone too far in this child-centered direction that ultimately the research has shown doesn't do the kids any favors.
Okay, let's pause there and talk about structure and what was best for kids. And when I'm coming from an occupational therapist perspective in all these is I'm talking about routines and structure versus control. And sometimes as parents, we want to control, and just humans, we would like to control other people. So when I'm looking at this through an authoritative lens, as an occupational therapist, we want to provide structure versus a coercive control. And so I just want to distinguish between those two things, because as humans, we like to have control. And I think what happens in humans, if you don't give them structure, the child will try to find ways to take control. And that can look like behavior that you don't want to see in kids. You get that inflexibility, you get that it's my way or the highway, you get extreme dysregulation and tantruming and meltdowns and those kinds of things with a lack of structure and control, right? Keeping with that authoritarian piece, that side of the y-axis of this model that we're looking at. And we'll link that and show a picture of what that looks like, because sometimes it's nice to have a visual of it. So as an occupational therapist, what we really want to do is provide routines and structure for kids. And I do this as an occupational therapist with a visual schedule. We do this as a parent in saying, like, this is what the expectations are. You get up in the morning, you have breakfast, you clean up after yourself, you brush your teeth, or get yourself ready for school. Those expectations are consistent every single day. Just as it is in the therapy office, it's consistent every day. Now, I work with neurodiverse kids. I have a neurodiverse child. What happens then when they need extra scaffolding? They need help with their routines and their structure. How do we provide it? Do we shout at them, hit them, yell at them? What are we doing to provide that? Or are we providing them the scaffolding in the way that we're helping them move in the right direction of our expectations? Let me help you. It could look like I'm doing it in parallel to you. It could be modeling. It could be stating the expectation again. It could be a visual schedule, either at home or at school or in the therapy office. Scaffolding is important. And to some of these neurodivergent children, parenting a neurodiverse kid can be very difficult in that, one, it can be dysregulating, and we want to give in to their whims because they make your life a living hell if you don't. But also that could be a sign that we are being too permissive too. So we may need to provide more structure for these kids. These kids do, like all kids, all humans, like structure, they like routine, and they like to know that somebody's in control. So you as the parent have to be the one that's asserting some guidance and control of what the expectations are, because if you don't, then it feels really willy-nilly to the child. It can produce anxiety. It has this backlash with behavior and meltdowns, and that's not what we want.
How can we act this out? I'll be the kid, you're the parent, and maybe we do a better way and a worse way to do it. I don't want to walk to school. I don't want to. But you have previously established that we're going to walk to school. I'm tired. I don't want to. I really don't want, Mom. I don't, Mom.
And so sometimes the scaffolding could look like first getting them regulated, co-regulating with them. Maybe it's like understanding them, some empathy, like Dr. Ross Green will say, like the empathy step will be or self-regulating step, like, yeah, I feel that.
I'm tired.
You're tired. I hear you.
I didn't sleep well. I had a bad dream. You need to drive me. I
hear that you would like me to drive you.
You have to. You have to.
I hear that you really would like a ride to school. I hear it. And
yes. Yeah, I really want it.
I'm just going to hold you right now. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to look outside. Maybe I'm putting my arms around you, and we're just going to rock back and forth. We're going to co-regulate.
Oh, but now we're going to be late.
Okay.
Late.
We're just going to take a moment. You're not going to be late. I got you. It's okay. We're going to just chill. It's all right. Breathing. And this could take a few minutes. It's okay. We can wait. It's okay. I got the time. No problem.
And the kid might be late to school, and you might be late to work.
I'm just going to take a breath, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're having a morning, and that's all right. We're going to have mornings sometimes, and that's okay. Yeah. And now that we're a little bit more regulated, maybe some scaffold, maybe I have the opportunity to walk him to school. Maybe I'm going to say, do you want
Or
to
halfway.
Well, maybe
you like
walk 'em
walk them halfway.
Do you want to listen to your AirPods while you walk to school? Do you want some more water? Do you want like a snack with you? What tools?
Or do we want to listen to something together on my AirPods? We listen to the same thing while we walk part of the way.
Okay. What song do you want to play? Okay. I can look for those moments of the in. I could see their face start to relax. Oh, I could listen to a song. Yeah. You can let's listen to a song. What song is your favorite?
I'm going to listen to the Bluey soundtrack.
Let's listen to whatever. That's great.
I'm going to listen to Nine Inch Nails.
Let's do it. Here's my AirPods. Here's one for me, one for you. Let's go. And now we've got the scaffolding in place to get you to school. I didn't give in, but I gave up maybe a little bit of my time. So sometimes that is something. And I have the privilege and ability and the self-regulation and the resourcefulness today to deal with that. Now, tomorrow...
So maybe on us, we start a little bit earlier to make sure to build in the flexibility.
Tomorrow, maybe we get up at 6:45, 15 minutes earlier to be able to allow for that dysregulation to happen and to be able to still get you to school. Maybe we need to leave 15 minutes earlier so that I can get you to school. Maybe the other side of the coin is, what if I'm not resourced? What if I didn't sleep very well and I've got a meeting at 8 a.m. and I can't walk you to school and I'm stressed and I can't
run that one.
I'm starting to, and your feelings start to, you have to go. You gotta go.
You have to drive me. You have to drive me. I'm not going.
All right. And then I just get in the car. Just go. Like, I don't have time for this. Let's just get in the car. Let's go. And then everybody.
And what's that build in for the kid? For next time, what does that set up?
If I shout loud enough, long enough, hard enough to get my parent to be so dysregulated that they'll give in, then I'm going to do that because it is a behavior.
I'm kind of a behaviorist.
When you're getting rewards, even if it's intermittent, especially if it's intermittent.
I mean, like, you guys know Skinner, behaviorist theory. The behavior that gets rewarded continues. I really believe humans are like dogs. Like, even neurodiverse humans,
we're all animals.
Even weird dogs, like, we're all animals.
At the end of the day.
Even I got yelled at. My mom was mad at me. She maybe even gave me a consequence. Maybe let's say I lost some screen time, for example. That's a popular consequence these days with permissive parents because they're permissive with too much iPad. Anyway, that's a different topic. Very important, different. Anyway, so I got rewarded. I got yelled at. I've got mom's full attention. I get the ride to school. It is unpleasant, but it's intense arousal. I get a lot of arousal from it. And if I'm a stimulus-seeking person, my behavior got me, even though I got in trouble, like mom's super mad at me, it was unpleasant. I still got what I wanted. I got a ride to school, and I got your full attention.
Exactly. And as a neurodiverse kid, attention is the currency. ADHD is an attention deficit. And sometimes that attention they need more of it. They need more attention.
Even if it's negative.
Because guess what? It's still stimulation and it's still attention. So what I want to emphasize in this is that when you continue to do this, there is a worsening trajectory over time. So in the moment, it solves the problem, right? Like my nervous system calmed down. I got him to school. I was on time for my meeting. That can't be the norm, because if it continues to do that, it tells them that that's an okay way to behave. And there are some
even if they're not thinking about it that way, that's just the result. It's what they know. It accumulates
over time.
Yeah.
And now we're presented with pre-adolescence, where we're just on the precipice of testosterone coming into the bloodstream and a full rage monster, right? It could, it could ensue.
Girls
right?
too.
So nip it in the bud a little bit on this one, because the more you give in to their demand, they have control. They want control, because guess what? You're not providing a lot of control and routine, and the expectations are willy-nilly. Like when you've given in on other occasions, like I want more screen time and I'm going to bitch and moan and cry about it until I get it, then I know that if I loud hard enough and long enough, I will get what I want. And this is a big challenge for neurodivergent families, right? Because often neurodivergency is genetic. And so and emotions are contagious, and you're dealing with a child who you're very much attached to, your own child, you can get very dysregulated. It's very uncomfortable. And so it's much easier to just give in to those moments, because it does, in the short term, make it better.
There's a study I read about parenting styles on parents of autistic kids, where they observed the cyclical nature of this thing. Difficult kid makes the parents more permissive because they just don't have the spoons to do it. The more permissive parenting leads to consistently worse outcomes a year later. It's like they track like 200 families. I'll put the study in the show notes. I got a lot of studies to put in the show notes. There's a lot of really cool stuff to read here. But yeah, it's like, in a way, it's like, I want to say it's not your fault. Like it's understandable that you bend. Like, I call it negotiating with terrorists. I mean, that's what me and my kid's mom used to call it when they were little. Like, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Like, it's not your fault. Like, we can just do better going forward. Like, what is it? We do the best we can until we know better. And then we do that.
As best we can.
And
there are those moments
as best we can
when you are not resourced. And so my point in this is to resource yourself, making sure that you have the spoon theory of being able to have enough to give others. You have enough resources within yourself. So it's so important. Highlight and underline, bold the text on this one, to take care of yourself, especially when you're parenting a neurodivergent child. Make sure you do the things that are grounding and give you the resources. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're eating the right foods. Make sure you're getting exercise, having good allies and friendships and relationships. These are some of the pieces that will help you survive these years of parenting a more difficult challenge.
Yeah. What if I say, you haven't met my kid? You don't know how hard my kid is. Easy for you to say, hold the line firm. You don't know my kid. My kid is strong-willed, hard-headed, defiant, does not give. My kid will not. How about I say that? I'm a parent.
Yes.
Because I know you've got
I've been that
parents like that. You don't know my kid.
I've been that parent last week.
My kid doesn't give up.
You know what I mean? Like, it is an ebb and flow. And so the thing is we try to just do better the next time, and we do the best we can. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, is like, part of it is for me to be able to hold myself accountable to being a better human being and be a better parent to my kids. Because and reminding ourselves, like, why would I want to fight this hard and like this? This is so difficult.
It's just easier. Why don't I just give him his iPad?
It's easier. Give them the iPad. Believe me, it's so much easier. And the things that we're kind of up against with this age of parenting are unlike it's unprecedented, right? Like, we have never had to deal with this. That. But I will want to say, yes, but I want to say one point around this. And this is what the why, right? Why do you want to go through this, right? Why do you want to say, no, child, I'm not going to give you a ride to school. No, child, I'm not going to give you more screen time. Nope, it's past your bedtime. You got to go to bed. Like, I'm the parent. What is the why behind that? It's harder. Why would I want to do something that's going to make my life harder? I'm already dealing with a really difficult child, and I don't have to work, and I've got a thing, and all the things, right? Why?
Can I read you why?
I will tell you why, and then I want you to add to it.
I was going to read. I was going to read from
research.
my research.
It's also backed in the research. The mental health impact. These longitudinal studies link this style to the style of permissive parenting, low demand, high warmth, to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and lower self-esteem in children. So we're actually doing harm by parenting in a way that's permissive. So that is the why. So if we can hold on to, we're doing this for the best of this child, not for me. I'm not doing it for me because this is not feeling good for me. I would much rather give my child a ride to school or give them their iPad because it makes things easier. Am I setting them up for success or am I actually doing harm? And that's what I wanted to make a point on. Go ahead.
So despite meaningful differences in methodology, population, era, and cultural context, the studies converge on a consistent core finding. Permissive parenting is reliably associated with poor impulse control, low self-reliance, immaturity, avoidance of challenge, lower academic achievement, higher rates of problem behavior in adolescence, like drugs and antisocial behavior, anxious ambivalent attachment, and lower adult relationship satisfaction across virtually every domain studied. Self-regulation, academic achievement, mental health, behavioral adjustment, and now technology use and addiction.
Oh, right.
The Hong Kong study found the very clear link between worried and anxious behavior, permissive parenting, and internet and screen addiction.
Yeah, that's
it's like
a real danger.
When people argue back and they say, "Oh, you don't know my kid," like, I'm doing it my way.
The link between permissive parenting and the modern stressors of screens and neurodivergence. It's an anxiety cycle. The permissive parenting significantly strengthens the link between a child's worry and internet addiction. And this unmonitored escape, like this self-regulation aspect of screens, like as an external force for self-regulation, is deeply problematic. And it's actually taking away their ability to self-regulate for themselves and learn how to be in the world that's not with a screen, right? It's such a means of escape, and it can escalate into addiction and compulsive use. And especially in neurodivergent people, autistic kids, the ADHD kids, they have a different brain chemistry, right? That relies on the need for stimulation, and they're the low dopamine brain, so they're seeking out these rewards. There's a lot of these apps and things are designed to hook kids. It's the technology wizards, as Jonathan Haidt calls it, is stealing your child's attention.
And they don't let their own kids use it. They don't let their own kids use it.
Because they know.
The tech barons don't.
And they're keeping the secret from you. I know it feels like conspiracy theory, but you know what? Here's the truth of the matter, is they don't want, they want your kids' attention because it actually helps align their pockets. It does.
Shareholder value.
And we live in a capitalist society. And do you want your kid to fall victim and prey to the tech wizards? Is that what you want? Think about it. And then in those instances where your child is demanding to have more screens, no, thank you.
Throwing a fit, 5-alarm fit.
This is a real risk for kids with different brains.
Okay, so an argument I've been hearing is, look, he'll be fine. He'll grow out of it. Just chill out. I watched a lot of TV when I was a kid. I'm fine. But he'll grow out of it. What would you say to that? Because I think a lot of parents are like, I just have to get through this and he'll grow out of it. He'll be fine.
Well, I can tell you anecdotally that we need to teach these kids how to be in the world and what ways of doing that, and teaching them the self-regulation strategies to do that. And that when you are whining and crying as a way of communication, sure, it can be behavior as a form of communication. That is a guiding principle. And it's telling me that there's not enough structure and there's not enough routine, and the expectations are not there. There's a mismatch in the expectation between the child, what the child is expecting, and what the adult is expecting. And when that is unpredictable, it feels really unsafe for that child.
And if it's open for negotiation, that makes it unpredictable. If you bend, if you said, this is the way we're going to do it, little Jane, the Janie does not like it, throwing a fit. Well, okay, this time we could do it differently. That right there, you are setting up inconsistent boundaries. You're setting up unpredictability for the kid, and it creates anxiety. Kids need structure. Limits are loving. Like, you got to think about it like you think you're being loving by giving into their kid and giving them what they want. What is really loving is helping them grow into a well-adjusted human being who can cope in this world. And find me a coworker of yours who you think is good, who whines to get what he or she wants. Find me a person who you think is a catch on the dating market who whines to get what they want. Find them for me. I dare you. You won't.
Yeah,
they don't exist.
And so what that is demonstrating is that intermittent reward that we talked about at the beginning of when you are giving in to a child's whims, their own strategy of whining and crying to get what they want, you are rewarding the behavior. And what?
Well, if you'll do it intermittently, sometimes you hold the line,
So you
sometimes
just have
you
to
don't.
try as best as you can to be consistent. And I will say that sometimes we mess up, and that, sure, crying might still continue in some cases, but that's okay. And so what to do when that happens, right? Because we are human after all. We are not robots. I'm not going to be the same every single time. Yeah. Some days I didn't sleep very well. Some days I'm not resourced, right, as a parent. And so now what? So somebody's telling me to do something a certain way. I know better, but I can't. I don't have the spoons today. Then what? Here's what you're going to do. So whining or crying as a result should be met with a firm try again in an appropriate way, and show them. This is the scaffolding part of how you work with a kid that is communicating in a way that is maladaptive. Maybe I had poor behavior the day before, and I was like, I shouted at them, and I gave them a ride anyways because I was dysregulated and I was tired and whatever. Okay, so maybe, again, that kid's trying that strategy again. I don't want to, give me a ride to school. And I'm like, try again. Let's try again. That's not the way to ask me. And also, it's not going to get what you want. So
something you and I have done recently that's very much on this is something we've done when the communication is done in a way that's whining, unacceptable. We're like, that's not going to work. We've given another try. Still confused. Bye. And all of a sudden, the behavior shapes up. This has happened a number of times in the last.
The attention is the currency for the behavior to continue.
And if you say, I'm not available for that. I'm not available for this type of communication. If you want to ask me in English, in words,
and what
I'm here for you. And I love you. And
what I tell a lot of my families is this, and this really brings it home for them, is I wouldn't want you to be treated that way, so I'm not going to let you treat me that way, right? So I wouldn't want somebody to swear at you or shout at you. And so I wouldn't want you to take that. So I'm going to model what to do when somebody's shouting and demanding things of me. I'm not available for that. Peace out. See you later. I got to go. Not available for that.
And back up, give it a little bit of space. They might be making a lot of noise in that other room, but it will dial, like there's only so much intensity that a human can maintain without like a sort of feedback loop of you saying, stop saying that, or stop, whatever, holding the line, what you think is holding the line. Just get yourself out of the way, and that energy will exhaust itself a little bit.
And when you add more sensory input, more fuel to the fire with you talking and adding to that situation, it does fuel it. And yelling. It does, like, the emotion cycle is 90 seconds. So even if you like set a timer for 2 minutes and you come back, it'll feel different. That is the arc of like an emotion. It's 90 seconds. So if you keep adding to it, guess what? Now we're dragging it out 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
An hour. I'm telling you,
it's true.
a lot.
It's like being strategic about how you're firm. Like, yes, it's firm to say, you can't like stay there right in front of them toe to toe. You can't talk to me that way, blah, blah, blah. But that might be just adding heat. Maybe you just got to get out of the way and just not give in.
So this is how you're going to do that. You're going to make an agreement with yourself, right? You're going to make a plan. You're going to set the expectations, and you're going to share that with your kid. You're going to say, if you do this, I'm going to do that. This is how it's going to go down. My expectation is that you walk to school. My expectation is that you do these various things, that whatever your expectations are, I would pick, like if you're working with a very difficult child, I would pick your top 3 that you really want to focus on and work on those and really hold the line on it and tap into your why. I've listened to so many podcasts and read so many books about self-help and various things over and over and over. They always say this, and I'm going to say it to you now too. What is the why? Because when you're doing something that's really difficult, like holding a line to your very dysregulated child, where you're very emotionally invested in their happiness and their well-being, and you want to solve things for them, you're the parent, you can just drive them to school. You can just extend their screen time. But why wouldn't you? Why would you want to armor up in those situations? Well, because it is best for their well-being. Later on down the line, it's going to teach them how to self-regulate. It's going to teach them to do hard work. And this is going to help them be a better person. And that's what our job is as parents. That's our job.
And just
raise good people.
And in a shorter term viewpoint, do you like dealing with whining and complaining? No, you don't. None of us does. So don't feed the monster, you know? You have to work on it now because it's only going to get worse. There's a paper in 2001. Yeah, that means if you don't deal with it,
it compounds. Yes.
Like their lack of self-esteem that they're already experiencing and lack of belief in themselves. Their gap between themselves and their peers, which relationship gets more and more important into adolescence. As that gap gets bigger, that compounds self-esteem problems.
So true.
That's the Steinberg 2001 paper. I'll put it in the notes.
Okay, just to reiterate what we're going to do, we're going to hold the line for the try again kind of paradigm, or be unavailable in those moments of dysregulation. We're going to plan ahead and know what the limits are for these various things. Set the screen time limit, set the expectation, and hold it. We may need to scaffold in those moments. We help them figure out what their self-regulation tool is. If you have a moment to walk with them. You have a moment to help co-regulate with them. Do a task alongside them. Parallel play with them. And then build resilience in other ways. You can take a deep breath. You can do 3 deep sighs and work together through these moments of frustration. We're going to build tolerance through routine. We're going to have the same consistent routine and the same order, the same expectation every single day as best as you can. And we're going to hold to that as best as we can. So I just want to highlight too what Tom was saying about urgency. We need to do this now. Better is to do it yesterday, but now we know better, we do better as best we can with as many spoons as we have. If we have to armor up to fight this fight, let's do it. Let's put on that armor and fight this fight because it's worth it. Your kid is worth it. This is what we're here to do as parents, is to teach them, discipline them in a way. This is what it is to be human on this planet with these conditions of culture and being in a social framework with other people. And that is success. That's what success is going to look like as they move on past your household and into their lives, because we're building the building blocks for who they're going to be in this world as a whole. And that's it.
I think that is a great note to end on. I think that was awesome. Like the insecurity and immaturity that you're experiencing now, you can do something about. We owe it to them. And get the idea that being loving is not necessarily giving them what they want. Being loving is getting them to good outcomes. Station to adulthood. Being loving is being high warmth and high demand, high expectations.
They will rise.
And
They will
sticking
rise
to
to
it.
the occasion, as we've seen in some neurodivergent folks in our household.
Yeah, it works on neurotypical kids. It
true.
works on neurodivergent kids.
Yes.
We are all
They
animals.
neurodivergent ones just may need more scaffolding, and you may need more armor for the job. You might need to be more resourced.
Or more allies.
Helps.
Allies help.
That's why I'm here. As an occupational
you.
therapist, I am your ally. Let me do the work for you in some cases. I will hold the line for them. I will hold the expectation. Come visit me at oakbloomot.com. Come to my clinic. Let me help. I'm here for you. And so on that note, we'll wrap here and tune in next time for another adventure in parenting and all the things that come with it. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. I hope you can subscribe and find me on social media, all the places, Oak Bloom OT, and we'll see you next time.